So, folks, I picked up this Dietz Vesta at a flea market this afternoon, and I wasn't going to touch it. You know, I don't have any of these, and I got it here. I'm like, I kind of want to check this thing out and see how it works, how they, you know, how do you fill it, any of that, and it ended up becoming a project. Boy, the stuff you missed, man. I was using ratchet straps to try to pull this cage apart because the cage, you can't see from your distance, but the cage is all concaved in here. So, and everything's painted shut on this. As you can see, there's spray paint. There you go. I mean, the spray paint job's not that bad, but I was wrecking it trying to get this tank open. Ooh, what did I do there? Yeesh. Well, this thing hadn't been apart in I don't know how long. Okay, that's WD-40 that I put on there mixing with whatever else is going on here. But, yeah, so Dietz Vesta. I don't know how old it is or anything, but this is in really nice shape. I mean, heck, I mean, it has to be. This, by the way, I looked it up. This is the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh Railway. Now, I was reading up on that earlier before I started doing this. And I have this. There was a kind of a lever here. I didn't know exactly. You kind of have to hold it to turn it. Well, whatever. Yeah, this thing's in, you know, pretty good shape. What came in it was a Corning glass made in the USA. This may be what they call the 39 globe. And this, unfortunately, look at that, nice and thick. Unfortunately, it broke. It was a really good deal. So, yeah, there's work can be done here. There was a lot of work needed, kind of hiding underneath that really nice paint. Let's see. And the wick is dry, so all this fluid is freaking WD-40. I hate this. I hate this particular bottle, and 3 videos I've said this in now, but you just barely touch this, and it puts like a half a quart of WD all over your stuff, and it just gets on everything. It's just such a waste. And they're fine with it because you're using 10 times as much as you're supposed to. So you'll buy more. Ta-da! That's capitalism for you, folks. Okay. So we don't need this. We don't need this. We're done with that. I had to hammer on these pins because there was just no getting this fount out. I had to figure out how the fount came out by finding these pins and finding little levers and little things. And, yeah, I kind of made a mess of this one pinhole here, but it's well hidden. Okay. Well, I still got to figure out how to bend that cage back. So what I was doing was I was taking I got a couple of seat clamps here on my desk, which is actually a very heavy-duty picnic bench. Used to be a picnic bench. And I wrapped around and ratchet strap. And it came out a little bit, but it was the side I brought out a side rather than bringing out the other side. So I kind of made it, it's not football shaped. It's kind of sort of oval. It's crappy outside. So at some point I'll go out and maybe I'll put a ratchet strap in the middle here, try to bring them in together. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I was really surprised because like I said, I'm not a big fan of these things, but the deal fell in my lap. I'm like, I gotta have one, and then then to find out that it's for the Buffalo Rochester Railroad, that's super cool. And I had to figure out how to open the top because this was all painted over. So this little latch here had never been used since it was painted. Who knows how long ago it was painted, but this cage is also a little bent in here. I don't know if that's by design or not. Maybe it's by design for that. Maybe. It's getting better to use the more I use it. That's nice and Dietz heavy duty there. I mean, this thing's not going to need any work unless I decide to peel the paint off it. Because, I mean, you know, look, this wasn't like that. Hardly like that when I picked it up. Because I've been using it here. Oh, I see. Oh, I see how that works. Okay, so that's locked in place. You push this in. Ah, pretty cool, Dietz. And of course, these are your air tubes. I don't know what to do next, so let me contemplate. This, by the way, is pretty cool. Well, set up here. I'll clean this up. Clean that off. Boy, that's globbed on with paint. I thought that this had been pushed in. I didn't realize that these were flush. Let's see, I can't even get it to go back in there. So I'll clean that up. But first, I'm gonna get a real dirty rag and clean up this kerosene mess. Which seems to be cleaning it also. As you can see why that fount was sticking in there. It was obviously rusted shut. I can see right there. We can fix that. No, that's not a problem. Inside of the fount is pristine. Like they painted over a little bit of fish eyeing there. Yeah, I certainly had to hit it really hard. What is all that? It must be stuff that they... Okay, all right. That's all dirt that they spray painted over. There was obviously dirt in areas like... Okay, so you can see what they did. So you can see it under here. So they gave this baby a nice cleaning, probably steel wool or something like that. And I can see underneath where there was remnants of paint. They did a nice job sanding down the remnants of paint, but I could see they left the dirt underneath these little posts here and painted over it. So I was wondering, like, why is that like that underneath there? Well, they painted over the dirt. Yeah, they sure as much did. Yeah, I can see where the peeling paint was left around areas that they couldn't get to. I get it. Do I want to take this paint off of here? Because a lot of it's really pretty nice. Maybe I don't want to mess with it. But the problem is everything I'm doing here is chipping off some paint. So I got to be careful. I'm going to put this back in here. I just want to see, why is it that I had to tear those holes apart to get it out? Now, that's confusing because it's acting like I'm just going to get them out of the way. Good. But Buffalo Rochester, yeah, great. You know, I like my local stuff. All right, so now I know how to take that apart. What is all that glob? Because I know this thing was sealed up tight until I put WD in there. So whatever the WD mixed with, it just looks like that paint remover gel stuff. So I think what I'll do to start is I'm gonna take the Dremel to the inside of the fount insert here to make it easier for me to get this fount in and out because it was rusted in there. So get some a little milder than this. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I don't touch this edge and take some paint off. That's interesting. That was either a base coat or that's white paint. It was white underneath. I doubt it was white though. Yeah, that'll need some paint stripper on it. Okay, that looks a million times better. I don't see any reason why this thing wouldn't fire up right now. Rah, meow.
Several days later.
Well, I've been toying with the idea of what to do with this railroad lantern. This paint job it's pretty okay. It's a high gloss and it's thick. And it's obviously that this thing went right onto a shelf for display right after it was painted because a lot of stuff was painted over. I mean, I do see blobs and stuff. But I'm going to take this. Oh, this reminds me of the burner cap for a junior wagon lamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip the paint off this because this obviously was never fired with this paint on it. And I want to get it up here as well. It looks just so cakey on there. Okay, good. Yeah, because I want to clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to strip some paint off this, and I'm not going to strip any paint off anything else. Like I said, I mean, you look at this latch here. That when I picked this baby up, that latch had no peeling paint on it because that rubs on there. So this was, I mean, everything was painted shut and everything. And this baby was jammed in there. It's too bad this is busted, but it's not busted horribly. And there's a lot of meat left. But I'm going to clean that up, put that back in. Do not have another one of these yet, but I do have saved on eBay. I don't want to spring for the purchase on it, but there's an embossed one, also a Corning. This is Corning, the Corning NX. This is Corning's version of Pyrex, or not version, but maybe this was before Pyrex. This was very early because this is 1929 lantern. But I did find one that's embossed with Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh Railroad on it. So that would be cool. But it's twice as much as I paid for this. And I don't know. I'll figure it out. So I'm going to clean this up. Looks like there was a piece and somebody had it taped on there for appearances. And cool bulb. This was probably a Great Globe. All right. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put a little bit of stripper on here. And while that's the stripper, this is dusty, so I want to clean it up. I'm taking it to some people at a historical society to look at. So, all right, let's do this. I'll be right back. All right, got a little WD-40 on there. Oh, geez, look at that. What is that coming off there? I put a little Windex on here just to kind of shine it up. And this like gray film showed up. I'm assuming that's just dirt.
Blah, 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 blah. Yap, yap, yap.
Oh, that's going to polish up pretty nice here. Yeah, I'm seeing some spots where the spray paint didn't get to because I had it closed up. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty display piece for sure. Ah, yes, I had WD-40 all over me when I was trying to get this out. Nice. I gotta tell you, this is the nicest 1929 lantern I got in my collection, and I wasn't even planning on getting it. But when somebody offers you a package deal, you just can't resist. You go for it, right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go check on the status. Yeah, this glossy paint, it's weird seeing because in every corner I'm like, oh man, there's a spot of Windex that I missed, but it's this super high gloss, super thick paint. All right, well, that paint came off pretty easy. There was a primer underneath there. I can get the rest of this with the wheel. So I'm going to put this on the wheel, and I'll put this on the wheel, and then come back here and finish them up with the Dremel, clean them up nice. And the glass came out nice and clean and broken. So, all right, be back after the grindage. Right, okay, I'm going to go for a nylon bit to get in the corners here. Let's see if this can get in that corner or not. So I got more of these bits in yesterday, and the bits that I got have some different grits, a different selection of grits. And this has, one ad called that 1000 grit, and another one says that's wool for polishing. Well, I'm gonna see what this does, and I'm gonna put a little polish on there. First, I'm just gonna play with this and see what it does. First time using this. Holy crap, it's like one of my cats just exploded in here with all the hair flying off. Holy moly. Okay, well, oh wow. Yeah, it turned into one of my cats immediately. Well, you get what you pay for, you know. I'm spreading this around so when the wheel hits it, not big globs of this flying all over the room. Well, let's just see if there was any difference made at all before I continue with decorating my lab with all this fur of the sheep. Does look period correct. Love that steel. Let's reassemble it. Okay, it's in there. Down in the burner hole while I'm at it. Something sticking out there. I need my headlamp, so there's something in the pathway in there, which is probably why I was having trouble with the... There's some brass kind of bent up in there. Obviously, there was a serious issue with a fuse. Why do I keep calling it a fuse? I've been doing that for days. A wick. So there's a brass sheath that goes all the way through here and is there, comes out there. So obviously something got stuck in here real hard. So all this brass is all bent up in there, but I think we're getting it. Yeah, we got all the bent bits out of the way. Bent bits, listen to me. I'm talking like a Brit. All right, so okay, I just got to put just a little more pressure on these. I wonder if I can do it with my trusty bamboo so I don't put big tool marks in this thing. Okay, we're in. We're golden. And I see nothing wrong with the original wick. Except, could be the wrong size. Maybe that's why it was jammed in there. Let's figure that out. No, it might be all right. Oops. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna have to do more work on these little crimps here. But I know this is work. Oh, man. What is going on there? Okay, I just needed a little help getting past the breach here. All right, there's that. So this, we just gotta be very careful where I set this because I don't want to put a dent in it. Of course, you know me and my tool marks. I hate it. Okay, so I'm going to use the edge of my table here. I just got to find something good to beat this with. It's not going to leave big tool marks. Yep, Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this on here, hit it with a hammer. A little more, because what I'm missing is what's on the underside of this, what's happening on the table side. Oh, it's okay, gonna have to use something a little harder. Let me just make sure I'm not denting things. All right. Again, tool marks. Bugs me. Even if they're invisible, I mean, even if they're in a spot where you can't see them. That's what we want. Perfect. See that little crimp that put in there? That's, all right, that baby's in there now. Okay. All right. So, we've got this here. Now we can put, oh, now I see that this is covered. I just washed it. Wash up, and now it's covered in those wool hairs from that bit. But it's better than actual steel wool hairs, because that stuff gets in your clothes. It gets in everything. It gets in your skin. It gets in your feet. All right. Let's see. That is in. Oh, yeah. See, I'm learning. I've never had one of these. All right. Okay, so that goes, this will go in there. That goes there. It turns. Okay, it goes in there, and that cool little sleevey bit there. That comes up there. Now we're in. Boy, that sure is tight. I gotta have little fingers. Boy. Okay. There. Okay. Now we have globe. This globe has seen better days, but it looks a lot better now. All right. There. Okay. Yeah, there's still some. The cage has seen better days, but it's pretty darn close. I'm not going to be using this every day, so I'm not too worried about that. But let's go down and take a look at it. All right, here we are. This is a Dietz Vesta, 1929, made in Syracuse in November of 1929, and that is a Corning made in USA Vesta globe. I think that's called a number 39 globe. I think, not sure. All right, we got this baby cleaned up nice, perfect. to showing off to people in a couple days here. So I'm glad I found this. I'm not going to be filling my house with these. They're pretty cool because they just ask too much money. There's even junk ones are too much for my budget. So all right, here we are. Hey folks, here we are. Dietz Vesta. Thank you so much, and don't you go changing.